Okay, hello, this is Peter Stewart. We mentioned yesterday post-dialogue attribution. What is that? That's our topic under discussion as Get a Better Broadcast podcast and Voice Over Voice continues. Yeah, post-dialogue attribution. It's where the name of the person who just spoke is written after their statement. So, Merlin said. Trayvon interjected. Marsha replied, Neville whispered. She said with a tremor in her voice, that kind of thing. And when you're marking up your audiobook script, you really need to make sure that those post-dialogue attributions, the attribution, who's done something, who's attributed it to, are marked up. So you know which voice to use for the preceding comment and how to read it. Yeah? So Merlin said, why don't you follow me into the forest? You know Merlin is going to say it. Before he says it, you can put on Merlin's voice. But if you've got come into the forest, Merlin said, then you've got to know as an audiobook narrator that you've got to put on Merlin's voice before you, or indeed the listener, knows who said that sentence. You may also need to be aware that on occasion there may be a discrepancy between what someone says and how they say it. For example, I'm completely overwhelmed, followed by, she said sarcastically. Oh, what? So you're not going to actually be saying, oh, I'm completely overwhelmed, because it's said sarcastically. So maybe it's got to be something more like, I'm completely overwhelmed. Yeah? So you need to know how something is said, as well as what is said, and who is saying it. Yeah? So think of what the character is doing when they're speaking in the text as well. Let me give you an example. Robin pulled the bow back as far as he could, struggling as the string cut into his inexperienced fingers. He has to die, he muttered under his breath, and then with more resolve as the arrow flew from the bow. Die! Die! So you have to show that the character is experiencing several emotions, exhaustion, focus, and then fury, all in a couple of lines. Your in-character breathing will also add to the visual for the listener. A sharp intake of breath in surprise or shock, an exhale of relief in an action scene when someone is out of breath or tired, sounds natural. As a narrator, some editors may remove or reduce the volume of many of your breaths, especially at those at the start of a paragraph, so they don't distract the listener. So be aware of that as well. Tomorrow, character relationships in audiobook narration as Get a Better Broadcast podcast and Voice Over Voice continues. From London, I'm Peter Stewart.